Okay, so this is the easiest way I found if your AC is not turning on right away. If there is a delay in the front of your Chrysler Town and Country, so this is a 2014, then what has happened is, let me try to get in here. This door back here, there's an actuator. It just moves this flap up and down, and I'm not very technical, but there's like this little post that's attached that's snapped off, and so apparently it doesn't send the right signal to the vehicle right away, and so it doesn't turn your AC on in the front. The back will work fine, but the front, it takes about a few minutes, and then all of a sudden it'll kick on like nothing's happened. So that door needs to be replaced. Now, to do it through the factory, this whole dash has to be removed, and I'm not going to do that, nor do I want to pay for it. I've tried going through the bottom. Some people will say you have to go from up under here. It does not work, and I'm telling you, you have to buy this whole bait, or this whole outer housing, to get this flap. You can't buy the flap by itself, and so it costs 80 bucks, and if you break that post trying to get it in, which I've done before, it's another $80. So while it's not the prettiest, this is the way I found that gives you enough access to do it. And unfortunately, I had to cut a piece of it. This is where, right here, if you look from below, this is where your filter, your cabin air filter sits. And what I did was I undid these two, I think they're T40s. Anyway, the two screws here. You actually only probably have to do one, and I cut it. I used a Dremel. Or you can use a razor blade to cut these posts. They're really flimsy, but this bracket right here, as well as this part right here, I had to use a Dremel to cut through this big piece right here. But once I took this section out, it was easy to fit the flap back in, the replacement flap back inside. You want to do, it's going to sit in the back, so the portion is going to be like this. The flap is going to be sitting up like this. You want to, there's two posts, the one that goes into the actuator, and then there's another post that just goes to the right. You want to put the post to the right where it just freely moves. You want to get that one in first, and then once you're able to get that in, just slowly make sure you have that flap up against the opening to the back, and then it's easy to put the other post. You can see it there with the slots back there. It's easy to put it inside, and then you're good to go. I'm telling you, even though you have to open this spot, I think what I'll do is I'll end up just putting the screw. I'll put the plate back on, put the screw back on, and then put the cabin air filter in, and it'll protect it because nothing's going to get through the air filter to hit your fan, your blower motor, or anything. This is the best way to do it. This is the easiest. All I did is I went through the top portion of, there's the two glove boxes. Now the 2014 is a little different. It sits just like this. Now, oh, I'm sorry, it's upside down. Now it has, when you're looking at it, this is all, I'm doing this backwards because I wasn't sure if this is going to work. But what you're going to do is this side where there's a latch for your opening and closing, you're just going to have to kind of bend this out to pull it out. This side actually has, if you look inside the button, there's a T40 screw. I think it's T40. I could be wrong about the size, but it is a torque bit screw here, and there's two up under here. But just know that you're going to have this trim piece like this. This is easy to take off, but you have to realize there's three Phillips head screws on the inside, and there was a protective rubber mat that covers all of it, so you won't see it. So you have to pull the cover mat back. There's three screws and then you just grab the trim piece and slowly pull it off. You'll see that it's got these three little deals. and the trim just comes right off. And then, like I said, once you take your 3 Torx bit screws out, the other side, it'll just come off, and then you just kind of have to bend just a little bit, just to get this portion around, and then that'll give you access to the top of this, and then you'll be able to do that. I'm telling you, just cut this little piece out, take off the cover, take off your cabin air filter, and you'll have enough area to slip the flap, the replacement flap, inside. So you won't have to replace this whole thing. And I could only imagine the hours to have to remove this to get this replaced. So hopefully this helps. It helped me. It went right back to working. So yeah, hopefully it'll save you $1 or $2. Okay, good luck.